it's the realization that the high amounts don't actually do as you think. But it's with everything. Like if you eat more food, yes, you make more gains up until a point, then you just get fat. So side effects. You only add side effects to what you want.
Right.
The training as well, you can go heavier and heavier until you injure yourself. So it has an effect up until a point, and then it's going the other way around.
Right.
And with usage, it's actually at a very low level already, that turning point, much lower than you realize actually.
But let's just cut to the chase. What was the Arnold Classic cycle? Like, this was what everybody wants to know. What is the difference? How come you win? You go from 7th at the Mr. Olympia to 1st at the Arnold Classic. What was the fucking cycle?
Guys, you want to listen for this one.
All right.
Well, the cycle that I have, it's in one of the rooms of my house. So I use it every single morning for 30 minutes.
Right,
but I went to 31 minutes this time.
Oh, that's a big difference.
So that's the difference.
That's a big increase.
Yeah.
That's a big increase. Did you change the brand of the cycle?
Now, the brand was the same, but I changed the saddle that I was sitting on. At first, it was angled a little bit like this, but it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I put it up a little bit. So now I'm more comfortable, and it allows me to cycle for longer.
All right.
So a longer cycle,
So you
more,
don't get
more
any
progress.
numb nuts
yeah,
anymore.
exactly.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, this also correlates to my weight. So at the Mr. Olympia 2018, I weighed more than the Arnold Classic 2024. So 6 years of progress going down in weight.
What was the weight difference? Because you're about 2.5 kilos off from the weight
so
cap?
at the Mr. Olympia, I was around 112 kilos. And at the Arnold Classic, if I'm lucky, I was 111. So, so it was a kilo down, but obviously the shape was totally different.
Yeah, the body composition, the body fat levels was way lower. The density is now coming through. The muscle maturity.
But that correlates also to the usage. So when you're not as experienced, you always think more is better.
Yeah.
And when you go to the Olympia, I mean, when you are a competitor yourself and you turn pro and you go to a higher and higher level, you always think, I have to match my competitors. They probably do this much. And then you try it, and it actually works the opposite way than you think.
It makes you look tired. It's difficult to peak.
It actually makes your physique less impressive. It's more difficult to get in shape. Your sleep is impaired. Stuff like this. So I've been using less and less for a more fresher look and improving myself in the training, the nutrition, and the supplementation, and the sleep. Like improving in those aspects allowed me to use less of the compounds.
Right.
So, that is almost a secret. Like remove toxicity from your body to allow fat burning. There's no obstacle anymore for your body to say, okay, I'm healthy, let's burn the fat.
Instead of detoxifying and removing all the garbage and the metabolic waste products, your body can actually function.
Yeah.
And instead of the lymphatic system trying to process all the toxins, they can now process the fat.
Exactly.
And this also allows you to kind of cruise into the show a little bit fresher. Like your physique was very fresh.
Yeah.
Right? It looked beautifully peaked. No crazy tiredness, no tired body parts. Everything was filled out nicely. Not that the upper body is filled out and the legs are super stringy.
No.
Or weaker body parts are super stringy, right? Like we see with some other competitors. They just look exhausted at the end.
Yeah.
And that's just overdoing everything. The drugs, but also the cardio and trying to make these crazy weight cuts.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to make weight when you're loaded to the gills.
True.
It's actually better. So I coached a lot of athletes at the World Championships, right? There was drug testing involved, so you're very limited on what you can do.
Yeah.
But you also have to make weight, and that limits you even more. So you can limit which drugs you can use, and also how much of each drug you can use.
Yeah.
And what I noticed now at Classic, and having an experienced coach like Stefan Kinzel, he understands that less is more, as cliche as it sounds.
Yeah.
But it also allows you just to be normal and functioning and stand at the expo all day instead of being a moody son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You're just nice and go lucky and happy, and because you sleep so well.
Yeah.
Right? So you can exclude a lot of the stuff that other competitors are using.
True.
And if you do use a little bit of Tren, it's probably a lot less than people would expect.
Yeah, because nobody thinks about, everybody thinks, I just have to use this compound because it's being used in competitions. But think about what it actually does. So when you want to use Tren, it sounds like exotic, crazy, but it actually works best in a very low caloric state to preserve muscle mass and strengthen the gym. So basically, it's a muscle preservant in times of need where you need to lose that extra fat and you have to dig down deeper, more cardio, less calories. Training needs to uphold in strength so you don't lose muscle. What ticks all of those boxes is Tren, but at a very low dose, it already works. So a lot of people go from 0 to like 500, 600, 700, but why take that leap? Why not start with a minimal dose? And sometimes, every time I'm surprised, I'm like, okay, I'm using a minimal amount and I don't have to increase anymore because it's already doing what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, and plus you added in the last 4 to 6 weeks or something like that. When you really... of course, you get yourself down to, let's say, 6-7% body fat, maybe 8% on a DEXA scan, and then you need to get down to about 5, right, on the DEXA scan, which looks like you're 3.
Yeah.
And then that last little part, you really have to dig deep with the caloric restriction. Yeah. So that's the only real time where you would need to use Trenbolone to block the glucocorticoid receptors, prevent catabolism, increase your metabolic rate a little bit, improve your feed efficiency, right, for the little bit of calories that you're eating. And in that context, it really shines at extremely low doses. I mean, I did an experiment with 25 milligrams a week, and I completely mutated. Right? I restored all of or most of the muscle mass that I had in the past. And for competitors, based on your body weight, you can actually do like very low dosages. And it's funny to see that now actually come to fruition with the competitors because you're not the only one who follows a protocol like that. There's several that we know about now that are honest about their usage. And you see this is now a recurring theme that with the knowledge that we have access to and the research that is being published, that, you rely on other stuff that doesn't impair your sleep quality. And then everybody still wants to run 700 milligrams of Tren. But I think it's a phase that everybody needs to go through, right? You need to go through this super high, crazy stuff. And then later you realize that maybe you would a little bit less. And then it gets less and less and less and less. And you actually look better and you feel better for it also.
But it's exactly as you say. It's the realization that the high amounts don't actually do as you think. But it's with everything. Like if you eat more food, yes, you make more gains up until a point, then you just get fat. So side effects. You only add side effects to what you want. The training as well, you can go heavier and heavier until you injure yourself. So it has an effect up until a point, and then it's going the other way around. And with usage, it's actually at a very low level already, that turning point, much lower than you realize actually. So that's exactly what a lot of people should learn. And that's like, I always use the phrase on a needs basis. So you start a prep, and if you're on a very low dose and you're keeping, you're losing fat, your strength is staying the same, your sleep is great, why would you increase the dose? Until you need it. When you, for example, an example would be you go to the gym, you log your lifts, and all of a sudden the third working set you do 1 rep less. Okay, maybe it's a fluke, maybe the sleep wasn't as good. Next time it's 2 reps less. Okay, now it's time to use on a needs basis something that can uphold my strength, like a little bit more of a DHT, or maybe at that point you can already experiment with Tren, for example. But it really depends on your own side effect profile and how your body responds to the current situation. It's a boring way to talk, but it's the more longevity way and the better way.
Right. Well, you've been competing now for 11 years, right? You said now you're finally in the top of the winner circle. But your usage is way more conservative than before. And your physique looks better. So the proof is there.
True, except that people don't believe me. That's the other thing. But I hope
the guys who've been there and done that, they understand.
They know it. They've experienced it.
But it's usually the beginners that they're like, no, you must be on 5 grams of stuff.
Because I look bigger, so automatically it must be that you use more.